Daphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do another reading for you guys. I'm here at the library, just so you guys know. That's why I'm, trying to be respectful of other people. This is a quiet floor, so I try to do that. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody before I get started for being really supportive of my readings, and if anybody wants to give me a like and make a comment, that does really help my channel. But I wanted today to do a reading for you guys using this deck. I didn't bring my other deck or my charms, and I was like, I'm at the library, I might as well do a reading. The light is decent, why not? I don't really use this deck in the way that I'm going to use it very much, so I thought it'd be kind of different and unusual for me to read with this deck in this way. I also have these beans, which I got from my storage unit in my pocket, and to me beans are very lucky, very full of promise and potential, and I wanted to kind of put some positive energy into this reading. And I pulled out a dime as well, so I don't know, it's kind of like that energy of things can change on a dime. So which might be interesting for you guys. I do feel like some of the energies, there's a level of unexpected stuff here with all this Taurus Uranus energy. I feel like there's a level of unexpected, so that's why I'm leaving that there. But yeah, before I jump in, I do want to say a big thank you to all of my fans and longtime supporters of my channel. There have been people that have been so incredibly generous and kind to me. I'm still living in my car, and I still am technically a homeless person, and it's been a real crazy ride and process. For those of you who haven't watched my other videos on what it's like to be homeless and what my journey's been, please check out that. I'm going to be making a playlist for those, and I do want to do like a update on my situation soon, so maybe in a day or two. But yeah, it's been kind of really crazy ride and very interesting process, and I've learned a lot in the making these videos, and trying to kind of keep up with life as a person who's living in her car. So there's a lot of beautiful things that are going to be coming to pass for me. So I want everybody to just continue to please pray for me and to continue to just send me positive energy. That really helps. All donations are like beyond appreciated, because this past week I became really fearful about my situation, really fearful that I was going to actually have to stand like on the side of the street and ask for help. And that was very traumatic. And something beautiful happened. I told somebody who at a coffee shop where I go regularly in the mornings, and that I was just having a really bad day, and I felt like the walls were closing in, and I felt like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to be that person that stands on the side of the street and ask for help. And I was just like, this is not my life. This is not who I am. This is like so far beyond what I could have imagined for myself. And this person that I is what I would consider to be a friend, but more of like an acquaintance, went and messaged their church group, and 3 people donated from this person's church group, which I consider to be a miracle. And there's been a supporter of my channel who also donated, and that kind of opened the door for the light to kind of come in, and it prevented me from having to be that person that you see on the side of the street. And I'm just super grateful, and it made me learn a lot about people and gratitude and thankfulness. And these people that in the church group that I don't even know, these are total strangers to me, donated, and that allowed me to pay for my storage unit. That allowed me to get some food, to get a little bit of gas, $20 worth of gas, and then the church where they go. And I have been going, had also pitched in for the 3rd time, which I didn't think they were going to do, for gas. So it just was one of those kind of crazy times, and a huge major lesson for myself, in gratitude, and a lesson in humility, and a lesson in asking for help when you need it, and a lesson in people's kindness and generosity kind of coming out of the blue, things turning on a dime, things getting better, things improving. You never know when somebody's going to help, and you never know when somebody is going to be there for you. And I was just incredibly grateful this week for having had that it just kind of made things seem better and seem like, okay, I'm going to be able to, get through this time and get the things that I need to get done. All the donations right now at this time would go to the basic needs, things that I'll need: shampoo, conditioner. Sometimes I get like little things from the church, but anything that you donate is going to go to just basic necessities, things that I need: hand wipes, towels, just basic stuff, lotion, things that I run out of quite regularly, soap, all that stuff. So yeah, I do want to jump into this reading, but that was a major lesson in gratitude, and this week that I learned, and how miracles can happen, and how it's important to not let any energies that come at you start to interfere with your faith or your trust, and to maintain your faith and your trust during times of stress. Okay, so this reading, I'm just pulling some cards. I'm just going to set these aside here, and I want to see what we got. These are April, May energies, but this is a timeless reading. I know people don't like non-specific readings, but this is what I do. I'm just going to pull these cards and see what energies come through for you guys. I also did want to say something else is that I have been trying to conserve my energy. I'm still have a medical condition which I have to really watch, and so I need to make sure that I'm making sure my energy is high enough so that I can do readings. So I had kind of opened up my private readings for people, but really unless my energy is where it needs to be, I shouldn't be reading, for doing private readings. Okay, so let me see. There's an emotional quality to this reading which I really like. The Freedom card, to me, this is excitement. It's in the position of emotions. So there's something that's going to be going on for you guys during this time that's going to get you excited. It could be for someone who's watching a new job, because this is, one of these cards here. But it doesn't have to be. It could be something else. Something that you're celebrating as well, because we have the graduation card as well. You could be celebrating a birthday, getting pregnant. There's energies here which are very uplifting. None of the more dense energies are in these future positions. So some of you may have been going through a time where either there has been some kind of disappointment or loss, loneliness, isolation, feelings of, again, it's like lower energies, maybe even mild depression for some of you. Some of you may suffer from, depression energies, or just depression, or just kind of feel, going through some kind of grief process. I do see that, and it may pop up later in time. I'm not saying it's not, but it seems to be that this excitement or something that's very, very positive is in the future, and it's sort of like you're leaving maybe some of these energies behind. Some of you may have gone through some kind of ending of a relationship of some sort. This could be a friend, this could be family, this could be people in your life that you no longer speak to. This could be a partner, a decisive moment where you're like, okay, this relationship needs to come to an end. And I do feel like that ending is final. Whatever ending has happened, it's final. Most likely you're not going to revisit it. I just don't see that. I actually see, like, these are the only two cards that are kind of, you can see they're both low. I call them lower energies. They're earth energies. They're 3D energies. They're not the higher 4D, 5D energies. They're lower energies, and they're the kind of energy that can be challenging. Endings can be challenging when you let go of a partner, or you say goodbye to a friend, or you decide to part ways on something. It's very challenging. It's hard, so there might have been, to me, this is like kind of like the Five of Cups. And to me, the relationship ending is kind of like the Three of Swords. So there might have been some kind of ending that, you're really, obviously processing. I feel like some of you are going to be moving on from that energy, but, you're going through maybe the grief process, like I said, or just processing a lot of emotion with it as well. One of my favorite cards is this Andromeda card here, which talks about fluidity and peace. It's like really hard for me to articulate the Andromeda paradigm. Mainly because sometimes when I'm channeling, it's just almost like too many words. And I feel like it's too many words. Some of you maybe want to look up this book. It's called the Galactic Heritage Deck. That goes along with this deck if you're interested in learning about Andromeda and the paradigm and the program and what the people that are there are going through. It's completely different than Earth. But what we're taking from this is we're learning the lesson of, like, the mastery lesson of fluidity. And because Andromeda, essentially, their consciousness is shifting all the time. So it's not like Earth's energy where it's like we're basically, we think in very linear, concrete kind of terms, and things basically stay the same. And a lot of Earth people, we really like to have things stay the same. We like to have one person be in our life and get married to that person, stay with them, and get one house and have, you know what I mean? Like, have one life, but our consciousness is not shifting, whereas Andromeda is shifting. So the hard lesson of Andromeda in some of the other cards that I've learned about Andromeda is to find your root when everything is constantly changing and transforming. And to me, this is about synchronicity and mastery of learning that things are going to constantly change and shift, and to kind of more and to roll with it. It's funny, like growing up, my family used to have a real hard problem with my level of perfectionism and my level of not wanting to roll with things, wanting things to be a certain way. And I'm not saying I still don't, but like, I wanted things to stay not necessarily the same, but consistent. And, I had this, I picked up a gig, was it yesterday, the day before? And I was frustrated because I couldn't get my laptop to work. I just needed a power cord, and I don't remember where it is. I think it's in my storage unit. And I was like, because my adapter wasn't working for whatever reason. And I was like, I just need this power cord, like, to get my laptop to work so that I could do this focus group. And in the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to roll with it. I'm just going to roll with it, and I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to do it on my cell phone. And I downloaded Zoom on my cell phone, and I just did the damn thing. And it worked out great. It worked out just fine. So here's the thing, the message here for some of you who are trying to perfect your life or wanting things to happen a certain way. I really would encourage you to just kind of roll with it and be like, you know what? It's not going to be perfect. What if you fail? So what if they kick you out? So what if they don't take you? So what if you show up a few minutes late? So what if you don't say the right thing, or you don't do the right thing, or you just, it's a level of so like mastery when you can say, you know what, I'm not a perfect person. I'm not expecting other people to be perfect. And I'm not expecting to have a perfect life. And yeah, you might want to do the whole, Kobe Bryant expecting, like having a really high bar for perfectionism and being level of trying to have a perfect life. You might be that person. And that's fabulous. But what I'm here to tell you is that mastery comes when you can at least say, okay, you know what? F it. I'm going to do this anyways. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be pretty, but I'm going to do it. I think that in some way, parenting is like that. I think in some way, raising kids, you have to learn to adapt to every situation. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be perfect. And you're going to have to do it in a way that maybe other people don't get or understand. And it's going to work for your child, and it's going to work better for you. And I don't ever tell people how to parent, but that's what I've noticed from people learning about parenting. An ability to roll with things, an ability to say, you know what, this is not going to be a perfect day. Things might not go perfectly, but you're still doing it. The process to get to this level of mastery is very, very painful for a lot of people, especially people who like things to stay the same, who like things not to change, who like things to be predictable and have things locked down. You know, this is going to sound strange. Like, I'm getting this interesting message, and I'm getting a couple. There's someone that's watching that was perhaps expecting a marriage situation to go for it to be really perfect, for maybe things to continue to be a certain way forever, or there wasn't so much adaptability and growth within that partnership, either on one person's side or the other person's side. There wasn't really the imagining of how it would be later in time. There was only the want for it to go a certain way and to be a certain level of perfection. Some people like the whole thing about fairy tale weddings, they get really into certain levels of perfectionism. I feel like those of you who have been on like the marriage route, I feel like this, in order to get this cards, means you've had to learn in some way the hard way. And for some of you, it might come as a surprise, or it might be unexpected for you that things aren't as perfect as you'd want them to be, or things aren't as easy as it looks in a relationship. And I'm not seeing any of the negative stuff here, but to me, it looks like the lesson here for some of you is there wasn't the adaptability and growth within a partnership. Maybe it stagnated. Maybe it got stale. Maybe you wanted it to go where, maybe you wanted to have, let's just say, a child with that person, or maybe you wanted to have a relationship with a specific person, and it couldn't, you didn't take it to the next level. For some, it's going to be different. For some of you, it's sort of the eyes wide opening of what it's like to be in a relationship and how two people need to grow together. They need to continuously grow together. And if there isn't that level of growth and commitment, then the relationship can't go anywhere. So, you might have been in a relationship which you grew in, but was very painful. Like each lesson was very painful. They might have brought out not necessarily a shadow, but a part of you that maybe wasn't the best. I feel like a lot of you went into a relationship or want a relationship that looks a certain way. And I'm sorry, I'm down to 15% already, and I can't even believe I haven't even been recording for 20 minutes, but I have to go here soon. But I want to finish up this thought, is that some of you maybe were expecting yeah, maybe you still are expecting a relationship to be perfect. And I guess my advice or my input here today is to look at things a little bit more loosely, in the sense that, whoever it is that you end up with, it might not be your perfect person, but they're going to be a person that is celebrating life with you, that is celebrating the things that you want to celebrate, that's there for you. I do feel like some of you, if you have a specific person in mind and you're not together with them, you may take things to the next level. You may have a child with them. You may get into a relationship with them. You may, be even going to like a graduation ceremony where you're like, this is kind of like a big deal. It could be a high school graduation or something like that as well for some of you. Or I'm seeing potentially like eighth grade, or potentially like high school graduation. It could be some kind of celebration too, that you're just going to separate from all this other stuff as well. There's definitely a level of celebrating, definitely a level of excitement. Going back to that, I said that before. This is a time you want to listen to music. We have the power of sound. So some of you may want to listen to more music at this time. You may want to spend more time outdoors, because we have I think of the bees here. Some of you may be doing a lot on computers, so be sure you're getting your feet in the ground, taking time to go outside. And there is a level of idealism also. We have the Rancher Dude card, which, unless it is my person watching this, which I'm not sure who they are just yet, but if they were to ever watch this, then that's them. But this is an ideal. This is like you meeting your ideal, or having an ideal. And or being very generous, like some of you being very generous with other people, and just being very kind in different ways. It doesn't have to be financially. Some of you, it could be just, offering somebody a ride, being kind with your words. There's spiritual generosity, which doesn't involve actually any material thing, but it could be material. You could be the recipient of so much generosity, or be the person giving to others. But it is very positive. So the outcome of this reading is very positive. I definitely see those energies being really positive. And the message here that I'm getting as well is to keep a positive mind frame, but to let go of any kind of things that would be rigid. Just kind of basically follow your flow. Follow your nose. Let yourself embrace your freedoms, whatever freedoms you have at this time. Embrace freedom to go outside, your freedom to listen to music, your freedom to laugh, to go hang out with friends, to enjoy time with friends or family. There is a sense of renewed hope, so like a sense of divine timing. So something may be going through some kind of shift or change where maybe you had no hope regarding a relationship, you had no hope regarding a partnership of some kind. There's going to be a shift to being more hopeful within that relationship. I definitely see that here. And to me, when I see this card come up for anybody, this is legitimate. Like, this is where I do see a shift and a change. Usually this is where somebody reaches out, or you reach out to them, or it's just a shift in the energy where it's no longer going to be what you maybe we're experiencing, where there might have been a lack of hope or a lack of understanding of where that relationship was going. If you guys want to know about a specific relationship, where it's going, from this reading, okay, the relationship has either ended or is going to end because of a lack of growth, or it's going to become like renewed in some way. It could be a vow renewal, or it could be a situation where you've just had a change of mind about things, or they did, and it's going to end up being very, very positive and going in a very positive direction. Those of you in your personal life, I feel like are processing everything, doing everything that you can do to let go of energies that are not serving you. So embracing these energies, like I said, being outside, listening to music, embracing whatever freedoms you have, enjoying your life. This is all the path that is going to bring you the most happiness, is going to bring you the most success, and yeah, fulfillment too. Like that's to me the energy of fulfillment. Um, I pulled up two additional cards here, which is arrogance and confusion, going back to the Andromeda energy. Some of you may go through patterns with people. Like you may have been through cycles before in your life with different people. Patterns or cycles which may have not been healthy. So again, this is maybe the lesson here is to examine the patterns and cycles. I don't like this, the arrogance card, and I'm not a big fan of the confusion card, but again, it's more indicative of being in a cycle with somebody. Not necessarily, it's not going to throw you off your path. Like obviously to me, whoever's watching this is on a path which is going to lead to a lot of positive things. But you know, you may encounter somebody who's really arrogant. You might encounter, or have a day where you feel like, how am I supposed to get through this? How am I supposed to go through this door? How am I supposed to keep going? How am I supposed to keep walking? Moments of doubt or confusion, moments of fear, moments of not wanting to adapt to a situation, not wanting to talk to somebody, not wanting to be, around certain people, you know? So this is a time to really, you know, and again, we have pulled the stubbornness card as well, you know, letting go of things that do not serve you, letting go of things and people that do have like maybe patterns that are unhealthy, patterns which you have to really like look at their shadow constantly, or that bring out your shadow. If something is bringing out the worst in you constantly, that is a person to avoid. That's not a person to say, yeah, let's double down and like reinvest. And I have met people that have had relationships that are like that. They end up in these relationships and they're like, yeah, I think I'm just going to renew the vows and everything's going to be great. And it's just like their head is in the sand. So this is where either you might have some radiant, glowing positivity, like optimism for your life, or want that to be the case, and you're kind of missing some of these other lessons, or you literally are in a relationship to somebody or have been in relationships to people that maybe you didn't see clearly the, not necessarily red flags, but like the toxic traits of those people, or maybe you didn't see their shadow, or maybe you didn't see how it was bringing out the worst in you, or maybe you didn't think that it was something that you needed to end or get out of. Maybe you didn't want to like have a conflict or cut them off, so you kind of remained in a cycle where something didn't end but it needed to end. And maybe at times, you know, I've talked to clients too, maybe at times you did end a relationship and you're like, it is over and we aren't going to talk, but then for whatever reason, maybe you reached out to them again, or maybe you had to see them again at work, or, you know, maybe, you know, again, they could be the mother or father of your child. So it's like, you know, you have to deal with certain people, even though they may bring out the worst in you, even though they may have a strong shadow, or they may be either really stubborn or arrogant at times. There is somebody that's watching that has somebody that triggers their abandonment wound, and arrogance can really, there's somebody that's watching as well. Arrogance, if the arrogance is one of the traits for anybody who's watching, their person or something, it can really piss people off. And to me, arrogance and ignorance piss me off a lot, but I feel like it's a trigger for a lot of people. To me, arrogance is a lack, in some way it's like a lack of planning. It's like a lack of seeing how your actions are going to affect the whole group. It's sort of like, I hate to say this, but please don't take this the wrong way, but for some people, like, they like really obsessed about videos that they want to be time stamped, and they want it to be about their sign, and they don't want to listen to any of the collective messages. They just want it to be about them. And the thing is like we all have moments where we do want things to apply to us and we want to really understand things, but from the collective higher perspective, it's like a disinterest in other people that is unhealthy. Like to me, it's an unhealthy disinterest in other people's feelings, or an unhealthy disinterest in other people's life, or an unhealthy avoidance to other people. To me, there's a sense of maybe isolation too as well for some. I want to say isolation or disappointment with a specific person. I do feel like for some of you, you are really heavily thinking about a person, I want to say this, that just has some negative traits. And you don't see how you might even be in a relationship to them. You might not even see how they're creating, not necessarily blockages in your path, but they're creating toxic patterns for you in the relationship. Some of you are going to be like, yeah, I know exactly who that is, and yeah, that's happening to me. Some of you are going to be like, no, that's just my ex, or that's just somebody that I was with, or just somebody that was in my life at some period of time, and that's over. We have the pulse of life here, which is about transformation, soul growth. It's very, very powerful. We also have the melting pot card, which to me is about having a blended family. Some of you may end up having a blended family. Like if you have kids now, you might have kids with another partner later. You might be mixed race as well. You might identify in different ways. So this could be guy, girl kind of relationship. All different kinds of relationships show up at the melting pot, but it's very positive. The energy of the melting pot to me is has a very strong sense of family. You might have a very strong sense of family or people that are supportive of you. The melting pot to me is almost like potluck dinners and like having people over and having a strong like family unit and doing things with friends and family that are fun, maybe going shopping, maybe going out to eat, pancakes on Sundays, things like that. It's very maybe traditional or old school for some, but it's a very positive card. But the main card that to me like is the most powerful of this whole reading, aside from this mastery, the fluidity for Andromeda, is the galactic core one. So to me, this is like, anytime I see this means life is about to get real. Life is about to change. And it's sort of like the reset button. It's sort of like, it's like God or somebody saying, okay, Elizabeth, we're about to reset your life. We're going to push the button, shutting it down. And then it comes back on, right? So it's like there is some kind of reset. Some of you might be going through, something similar to me, only maybe a mild version where it's like some kind of midlife crisis. Or some of you might be going through something where maybe you recently became a new mom or became a new parent. And, you're going through the process of raising a child for the first time. Any kind of major life transition or transformation where you look at your life a completely different way, that's this card. So as positive as this reading is, I do want to say growth can be hard. Growth can be painful. Growth can be one of those things where you wake up and you're like, what is going on? And you continue to say, like, what is going on? I saw this Instagram clip where he was talking about being thankful. He's like, when you start to say thankful after going through something that's really hard, it actually means that you have mastered the lesson. So like you could have like the worst thing happen, but as soon as you start to say thank you that it happened because it taught you so much, that's when you've mastered it. So some of you are on a very high level spiritual path where you're, either learning a lot of lessons, going through a lot of growth. You might be a light worker. Just be a light for other people. You might have just gone through a lot in life, and you might at this time be going through a lot personally. But I want to encourage everybody to do the things that load, that lighten their life. That's the big. I have to get going. My cell phone is going to shut down any second. Thank you guys so much for being amazing followers and fans. Please give me a like. That really helps. All comments help. All donations really help at this time for, like I said, my basic needs, food, and gas, and just things that I need. I hugs, big kisses, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care. Bye, guys. All the best.